always, to all of my schools, know one pathway that's tried and true, because I'm known for turning in at the right time at the exact minute. Well, today I had extra time because I was coming from another meeting, and I thought I want to try another way in. Plus, I wanted to see the cemetery and look there at it and everything, and I got turned around. And so I was lost for a little while, but so many nice people. I stopped and they said, "Hi, Miss Peek, let me help you get." So then I got back on my tried and true path and made it in today. So if your neighbor says I've been by your house, I probably have. But it was nice, and it was a historical journey. With all of the information that's been coming out and things, what I find is in most things I deal with, 99.9% of getting things working, or when there are problems, is communication. So when I became very aware that there was an issue with what was happening here, I called Mr. Womack and I asked if we could get a meeting together, because the intent of the school system is to make sure that everything that's being impacted with the replacement of this old pipeline is taken care of, and that what we do is restore anything that has been disturbed, and anything that we can improve to add to the historic baseball field and the history of the school. So that's what I wanted to come and tell you. I want to give you a little background information. When you move into a superintendency, sometimes you inherit things, and then you leave a legacy too. But the work that is taking place here was actually work that was approved in 1951. September the 18th, 1951 was the date of the agreement for the easement for the pipeline, this pipeline, to be laid. In the agreement, what it calls for is a renewal by the grantee. That's the pipeline company, or if it has changed names and hands, they assume that role, and every 30 years this renews with the pipeline company paying the original $310, which was the original agreement on that. So this agreement renewed in '81, and then renewed again in 2011, and then it renews again in 2011, then that carries it to 2041. This is not a new pipeline. If it had been a new pipeline, then certainly there would have been a lot of communication, a lot of discussion. This is simply a replacement of the 1951 pipeline that was laid, and with improvements in that there are two safety valves being put in. In 1951, that must have been a very good year. I think I was a year old then, so I'm telling my age. But in those days, environmental issues and concerns were not at the forefront. I don't think that my predecessors had any intent of not being cognizant of the neighborhood or what was happening, but they did enter into this long-term renewable agreement. So that's where we are with what's taking place. Now, there's been some discussion about money and those kind of things. As I said, it renewed in 2011, but when the pipeline company got ready to replace this section of pipe, they have made a $20,000 donation to the school for school programs and academics. That may be computers, it may be any kind of software that needs to support instruction, to provide intervention, anything that impacts that. They also have given the school system $30,000 for the restoration of the ball field and the backstop that has been taken down, and to restore what is out there to its original intent, is what our intent is to do. So that's the part. Now, I also want to make it very clear, the paper reported, and I see Sally here this afternoon, $75,000, and if you read that, you thought the district got, that's not it. $25,000 went to the Africatown Welcome Center, and that has no connection to the Mobile County Public School System. Ours was simply the 20 for the school, for disturbing the school environment with any noise or anything, and the $30,000 was to follow up and work on the restoration. The other thing that the pipeline company is going to do is remove any and all debris. They're going to reseed, and Mr. Sheffield will tell you, to our standards with seeds like we use all over the county. They're also going to replace the fence so it's secure. And then what I'm proposing is that a group from your community group who knows the history of the ball field work with us, and Kenny Holder is one of our in-house architects. He will be working with you, and then Tommy Sheffield, who's our facilities executive director, to make sure that it meets all of those requirements and that we are good stewards of what is ours and yours, and that is the campus and the grounds of Mobile County Training School. So that's the whole intent, and that's the emphasis there. The superintendent who signed the agreement in 1951 was K.J. Clark. So that's how far it dates back. Many superintendents since then, but that was the intent of the board in 1951. And I don't think they had the foresight. Certainly, I want to assure you that this has nothing to do with any pipeline, new pipeline being laid, or any intent for that to happen. I also will share with you, and Dr. Crenshaw must have a meeting, class this afternoon and couldn't make it. He was intending to be here. But the board has also passed a resolution several months ago in opposition to oil storage tanks, new pipelines, and that type of thing. So I think there's something in there. But I'm going to quit talking right now. I'm going to ask Tommy Sheffield if he has anything to add, and Kenny Holder. And then, of course, I put on there questions, concerns, plans that you'd like to see, and of course, a committee to work with us, because there are people here who know the history, who know the look of the historic baseball field much better than if we looked at plans. Thank you.